Yeah, so top-down analysis. Yeah, morning, Benja. Top-down analysis on gold. Yeah, so let's see what we are having. Okay, so you saw this nice drop. Okay, then last week we can see we failed it. Okay, so what I can say is that if at all we're having this high, and we're also having this low. Yeah, so there's our low, there's our high. So these highs we're having some equal highs. So there's high and also then we had that nice drop, giving us this low. So with this low, what happened? We take it out on Wednesday. That is Wednesday, December 31st. So once you take out this low, what happens? So market expands, and around here we were having this fair value gap. So which classification of a fair value gap is this? So these are CB, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So CB, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So that's the type of classification of fair value gap we are having. So if this fair value gap is to hold price, then its main function is to support price going lower. Okay, so once price trades into it, then we need to see some form of resistance. So it needs to hold price going lower. But then what happens? So what I normally say is that once immediately we trade and close above the upper quadrant or above the consequent encroachment here, the way we did this. So once we do that, yeah, then you need to wait for more information. So waiting for more information simply means you don't react, you don't become impulsive, So you wait for more information. So what more information do you get? You find again, we trade and now close above, above the outside the CB now. So most of the time, what happens that once we violate this fair value gap, yeah. So there's a fair value gap classification, CB, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So it's supposed to be holding price going lower, but then we trade and close above it. So what happens next? Yeah, once you trade and close above it, what happens next? What happens next that we need to see this level. Whenever price returns into this level, we need to see this level now hold price going higher. And if it's going higher, yeah, what's our next draw of liquidity? So mark you here, we were having the all of this drop, then we took out sell side liquidity, and we see all of these, yeah, happening. So it trades and closes above the consequent encroachment of that week. Again, it trades and closes outside this CB. Yeah, so these are fair value gap classification CB. Once it close above it, so this drop into this. So we only anticipating for it to now support price going higher. And we can see the bodies tell the narrative, wicks do the damage. So wicks, they extend outside of, into the lower quadrant of this fair value gap. So this one now becomes an IAVG. Yeah. So you're having a fair value gap. So once you trade and close above it, it now becomes an IAVG. So IAVG, its main purpose now is to support price going higher. So we see what happens on Thursday and then Friday. So most people were long here, and those who held targeting these highs, that was nice. That was nice. So we see we rip above these highs. So what was resting above these highs? Yeah, buy stops. Okay, buy stops resting above these highs. What's resting below these lows? Sell stops. Yeah. So immediately price was doing this. There are traders who wanted to sell on the market's weakness. Okay. So what does the market do? We take them out, yeah. So flood the marketplace with these sell stops. So we turn these sell stops into market orders, okay. Then we flood this level, yeah. So once you take out these lows, we see around the midpoint. So most of the time, so we draw from that high to this low. So where's the midpoint? So midpoint happens to be also inside this CB, sell side imbalance by selling fish. So midpoint slightly inside this. And guys, I want you to look this. So I need you to be keen on this, okay? So what's this also? So let me just shade it with a different marking. So what's this? There's a BC, buy side imbalance. There's a BC, buy side imbalance, sell side. So it's inefficient in delivering sell side liquidity. So what happens once immediately we leave it, price returns into it and then pushes higher. So once you understand these concepts, I mean, using the benefit of hindsight, you don't need someone's signal to be doing this. You can do this on your own, okay? You can simply do this on your own. You don't need someone's signals. You don't need someone's analysis. Yeah. This is simply something you can do for yourself. Okay. So that's simply the daily candle. So let's look at the 4H. Yeah. So let's look at the 4H and see what were we having. So we already marked our daily levels. And so let's see what happened. So immediately we took out this low. Yeah, immediately we took out this low. Price created this high, this swing high that extended into that fair value gap. And then dropped lower. So once we drop lower, we are taking out this sell side liquidity here. So once we take out this sell side liquidity, price gives us this rally. So as it's doing this, what are you waiting for? So this is simply a 4H, okay? This is simply a 4H. So as it's doing this, so let me remove this. As it's doing this, what were you taught? What were you taught to be looking for? Yeah, so the market was really delivering lower. Yeah. Then you were taught market structure shift. Okay. So if we are to shift higher, I mean bullish, simply wait for this. Yeah, simply wait for that swing high to be taken out. And mark you there's a 4H, there's on a 4H. Simply wait for that 4H swing high to be taken out. Yeah. So we need to see a close above. Yeah. So these weeks, we are not to trust them. But then if you understand what you are doing, then why not? But then these weeks, anticipate for price. Anticipate to get a full body close above this level, this swing high. So once that happens, now come to the marketplace. So from this leg, so we had this low, high, lower, low. Then once we break above this is supposed to be our breaker now, our bullish breaker. So what happens? Immediately we leave it. price returns into these levels. In as much as we had a gap here, it could have been nice if it traded into this gap, but then it's like it was really bullish and it wanted to accomplish something up here. Yeah, so if you scale down to a lower time frame, you're going to get a good entry around this level. So that's our shift. Then we trade higher. And mark you, we are also watching that daily fair value gap, that daily CB. Yeah. Then we get this pullback into this. What's this? This is our order block. So we are in an uptrend. Any down close move inside an uptrend, that's an order block. And the most sensitive parts are simply the high, the top, the open. So this is simply our bullish order block. So what happens is that price trades into this and then expands higher, giving us another BC here, and then rips above this high, and then takes out the whole of this buy side liquidity, and also giving us a fair value gap here. Fair value gap here. So today, we know that there is now our new week opening gap. Yeah. So our trades will be revolving around this level. So there's a major draw of liquidity. It's a magnet for price. It's a real magnet for price. So most of the time this week, we are going to be referring to this level each and every single trading day. So incorporating the idea of the week theory, yeah, we are going to be using this to frame all our entries, to frame all our setups for this week. So make sure you understand what new week opening gaps are, and also the new day opening gaps. Because these are simply levels that you should never be sleeping on. So quickly, let's look at the 1H. So what we have on the 1H. So if at all you can scale your chart to a lower time frame, you find that you are going to be getting even more easier setups. Okay, so on the 4H, we're adding that high, but then on the 1H now, once you take out this low, there, so price does this. So it gives us this low and then this high, and then there's a higher low. Breaks above it with speed distance, leaving us some fair value gaps here. So what more do you want? What more do you want? So let's see. We now have this high. We have that high. then higher low, breaks above it, speed, distance, fair value gap. So what's this? That's a void, because there is no wicks. I mean, wicks are not overlapping inside here. And also, it's also a new day opening up. So once you leave this, so price simply does this, but then trades back into these levels. We see the sensitivity around this. And also this last down close candle before this run. So this last down close candle, what's this? This is simply an order block. So a bullish order block. So trades back into, digs deeper into this, and then we open the next week and expand higher. So around this level, so let me show you something. So this high and this high, they are simply relatively equal. So for you guys, you understand that once you see something like this, so your next setup, you're going to be, most of the time, most people, you're going to be putting most of your entries around this level. So you anticipate that this level held price, and then this one also held price. So if at all you went short here, so your stops are going to be here, above this low, above this. Yeah. So if you're a support resistance trader, so this simply how the retail mindset works. Okay. So that buy side, that high, and also this, yes. If at all you're targeting these lows, fails, and then we trade back higher. So again, you're trusting this level again to now hold price and then push lower now. But then what simply happens that this level, this level is really smooth. Yeah. So smooth levels are normally made jagged. Yes, these levels, they do work, but then for a short period of time. They only work for a short period of time. It's not like they are going to work to be working each and every single day. They only work for a short period of time. And also there's a group of traders, a group of investors who have their buy stops above this level. So those buy stops, they want to trade on market strength. So once we break above this, so they're going to trade these levels resistance and support. So we introduce those orders into the marketplace. So we flood this level with those orders and then drive them lower. So once they panic, we start pushing price higher. And then again, push them lower. So you see, with 1H, you could have entered here. On 4H, this could have been your entry level. So again, if we can scale back to any lower time frame, we are going to find out that we can, in this leg, we can still get our entries at a much lower price level. But then I'm not going to do that. So let's see what you are having. So we marked this order block here. So again, inside this price level. So this was Thursday's trading, and we want to see what we had here. So we had this low, that high, this lower low. So what's that? So let me just remove this now. So it's normally said that there's order blocks, okay? There's levels. These are order blocks and fair value gaps. These are simply the real support and resistance levels. So right now we know that this level was our order block. So real support and resistance levels. So what happens that we are only coming to look for this pattern: high, low, lower, low. So this is simply where our eyes goes to. Yeah. So once we spot that, we want to see this high being taken out with speed and distance. Speed and distance. Yeah. So this impulsive run higher, this impulsive rally higher. This is the only thing we were waiting for. We are waiting to see. So inside a support level. So which support level was that? That 4H, that 4H order block, bullish order block that we highlighted here. Yeah. So with the benefit of time and price. So yes, so London session at midnight we create that low. Then we come and take that low at New York open 7. So look at the time here. So there's 7 a.m. That's the beginning of our New York AM session. Okay. So AM session kills on. So time, benefit of time, and then price. So we are not, at midnight, we are not interested in that level. And then New York kills on, this is what you're having. So New York kills on 7 a.m. We take out this low, nice. Sell side liquidity taken out. Then we are having that swing high. So what happens? Do we take this swing high with speed and distance? So speed and distance simply means it's giving these lethargic moves. Yeah, so it's kind of impulsive. So speed, distance, giving us fair value gaps. Do we see any fair value gaps here? So I'm seeing this BC, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So that's our classification of a BC. Yeah, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So it's inefficient in offering sell side delivery. So what happens once we leave it? Price does what? Trades into this. Benefit of time also, time and price. So at what time does price? Is this BC traded into? At 2 a.m. So 2 a.m. What's normally there? If at all you are well conversant with trading the PM session. So 2 a.m. So from 1:30 p.m. 2 p.m. From 1:30 p.m. to 4. That's our PM session kill zone. Yeah. So 2 a.m. So if at all I'm trading the PM session, yeah, most of my entries, I want them to be taking place around either 1:30 or 2:30. So this simply that's the 1H time frame. So 2 a.m. we trade into that level. So fair value gaps, these are the real support resistance levels. Then we leave that. And then what happens? We have this accumulation. So guys, let me show you something. Yeah, let me show you something. Where are we having this accumulation? So why is this accumulation happening around this level? We're having this BC, so it holds price, and then we really struggle. So look at this. So price simply trades into a discount level. So in this range, so from this low to this high, this simply around the fair value price. So most of the time when price trading inside the fair value price, anticipate something like this. So from this low to this high, from this low to this high, we are having that. And then we leave it. So you find that mostly on these days, once you see something like this, I mean, just avoid or simply wait for time or simply wait for time. So time here, whereby we get this expansion is simply 8 from 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So this is simply the kill zone, the New York kill zone time inside price. So price and then time. Then we get that rally higher. When we tapped into that fair value gap, we formed a valid CSD. Okay, still fine. So today I wanted to look at something on Nasdaq. Okay, thank you, Tony, for the comment. I appreciate. So guys, the stream is also on YouTube if you want a clear picture of everything. So this simply, so thank you, Tony, for the wisdom. Yeah, so the stream is also, we are also live on YouTube. So So let's look at this price. I mean, what is this Nasdaq telling us? What is it telling us? Okay, so you guys know me that I normally trade Nasdaq. So when I look at gold, it's just a by the way. So Nasdaq, this is the real deal. So this is what I normally do. This is what I normally like doing. And so, okay. So this is the second week of 2026. So the first week, we saw the price action of the first week. Yes, I frame most of my trades around fair value gaps and liquidity sweeps. Yeah, so simply that's what I normally wait for. Liquidity sweep or fair value gap. So liquidity and imbalances. So price either trades to takes out liquidity or trades back into any level of inefficiency that was left in price. So that means fair value gap. Yeah, so most of my trades do happen around those levels. And yeah, Tony, you look like someone who really know what they are doing. Congratulations. I mean, can't be more proud of you. I know you're going to make it big. Wish you success, bro. Yeah. So let's see this. Okay. So this is simply NQ. So what happens that right now we are having this high and also these highs. Okay. So this level is really smooth. Really smooth. So that buy side liquidity, really smooth. And MACU, uh, why this level? I mean, what was happening inside this? Why did we have a sudden turn inside this level? So to the left, we are having what? There's CB, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So each and every single day, whenever I'm live streaming, so you guys understand that we've been watching for this. We were watching for this CB, so this level, and immediately we did that. We were anticipating some drop, and in all these days we are kind of bearish, except one day. So I guess it was this day that we tried going long, but then was it around Tuesday? Yeah, I can recall. So every December price action is clear, crystal clear on my mind. So can recall this certain day we tried going long, but then yeah, it really chopped around. And then yeah, all of this happened. So as we are trading high again, so this is simply December price action. So we are watching what price gave us. So what was happening? So again, we called for this volume imbalance on the daily. So volume imbalance, that level there. So let me let me give it a different marking, different color. So we had that and that. So simply a volume imbalance volume balance simply means two candles, the wicks do overlap, but then the bodies do not touch. So if you look keenly inside this level, we find that so the bodies, two candles, so the bodies do not touch. So these bodies, so it opened here, closed here, opened here, closed lower. But then the bodies do not touch. It's only that the wicks overlap. So the wicks overlap. So that simply means a volume imbalance. So we were watching for this. So all of this happened and our target was here. Immediately we hit that on Friday. So the next week we were really bearish. So we were looking for this, also this, so this avoid. And it was also a new week opening up. So this is where we wanted to see price trade into. Yeah, so we wanted to see price trade into this level. So from this volume imbalance to this new week opening up, so immediately we trade into that level. You now have to wait for more information. But then we saw that we really extended deeper into this BC now. So you find that when you're marking this BC, so it's this low and the whole of this gap. Yeah. So that, and then Friday, TGIF. Okay. So again, we trade into this level. We see the sensitivity around that. We have our little BC here. So BC simply stands for buy side imbalance, sell side. In as much as it's tiny, it's minute. Sorry. Okay, so what happens that if you guys can see this, so it's really tiny, you know. But then regardless, we can still expand it so that you guys can see it. So these are busy. So we see the body closes staying where? The bodies are staying above the upper quadrant. So the bodies are staying above the upper quadrant. So fair value gap. So how I like to frame my fair value gaps. So it has three main points, main characteristics. So we have the consequent encroachment. So that's the midpoint. Then we have the upper quadrant and the lower quadrant. So how do I know that this fair value gap is going to hold price? So I want to see the wicks do the damage. But then the body clauses tell the narrative. Okay, so bodies tell us the narrative. So what happens that if at all it's doing this, then the body clauses, yeah, once you close above it like that, so that's a value. So this tells me that this level is willing to hold price. And then you see that in as much as Friday's trading, yes, we were bullish, but then I mean, I don't know if I don't know what happened, but Friday this was simply NFP day. NFP day. Mark the fair value gap properly. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So people like Tony, you know. That's good by the. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, so like that. price will likely react to that fair value gap to kill to target. Okay. So again, we are revisiting this level. So sorry about my markings. Okay, so there's BC again. So today also we are trading into this. Relatively equal highs. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a highs here. So there's high. So let me quickly remove this. So there's highs and also there's relatively smooth. So right now, so I normally talk about this. So how the retail mindset, so the retail money, how they think. Yeah. So the fact that this level is holding. So right now they want to see price deliver lower. That's good. Yeah. So we did say that these levels they might work for a short period of time, but then on a long on a longer perspective, they're really not going to be holding price for a long time. So we trade into that, nice, push lower. We again trade into this level, nice. So what are the retail traders thinking? That they're thinking that this level is now a strong resistance level. But then for us, we understand that these are smooth levels. So smooth levels, what happens to smooth levels? So they are normally made jagged. So we'd really love to see these highs ripped above. Okay, so we make it jagged and then see if we can maybe expand higher. Okay, because right now we've really revisited this level so many times. So once, the first time, second time, third time. Yeah, so we've really revisited this level for a long period of time. So we are trading into this BC, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So it's where we are trading inside. Again, guys, what you need to highlight or understand is that we are having our new week opening up. Yeah. So new week opening up. We really opened higher today. So new week opening up simply Friday's closing price and Sunday's opening price. So that's the definition of a new week opening up. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So down close, up. So that's our new week opening up. So right now, we've really traded below this, how do we call it? There's an order block. So we are in uptrend, then down close candle, push price higher. So once we trade and we are having these body closes close below the mean threshold. So the main point of a order block is called mean threshold. So once we do that, it now we don't anticipate for it to now hold price going higher. So all of this happens, and again, remember we are still trading around that daily BC. We also having this week, so it's also important to highlight this. So we are also drawing inside this week. So what's important is simply highlight the quadrants of this week. So we're having the consequent encroachment of this week. Why do you call it an order block and it did not take out liquidity or trade into a major fair value? Okay, so Tony, like you need to understand classifications of order blocks. So we normally have the high probability order blocks and also the low probability order blocks. So you see, whenever we are in an uptrend or downtrend, so let's say when we are in a downtrend, any up close candles, so that's simply an order block. But then which type of order block? Low probability, okay? So there's low probability order blocks. I mean, how we normally highlight them, just mark body to body. You don't mark the wick. So it's simply you highlight the body to body, something like that. And also, I know you understand that an order block is any last up close candle around a support or resistance level with a bigger candle range, okay, with a bigger range, and then all of those things. So, for instance, here there's our order block, yeah. So for you know that there's an order block, but then also so there's a high probability order block. Also understand that there's inside this downtrend, any up close candle, these ones, so there's an order block. Yeah, so something like that. So I hope that helps. So consequent encroachment, that's simply the midpoint of this week. So we are drawing into that. And 15 minutes down to 15 minutes now. Let's see what you're having, okay? Uh, So that's our today open. So remember, guys, right now we are still trading around this level. So from this low, so we opened here and created this low. Immediately we opened, we created this high. So we took out that high and again took out this high, then ran for this low. So I just want to dim this. Yeah, and see what you're having. So that's simply the 15 minutes. So we've taken out this low. And it's closing in the next 4 minutes. So you want to see, is it going to give us a fair value gap here? So on the 5 minutes, we are having this. So I know some of the members in my community who really understand what I normally talk about. Right now, I'm sure they caught something here that is on the lower time frame chart. So people like Ekiro, did you catch something today? Yeah, because we normally talk about the London setups. So Ekiro, did you catch something? So that's normally our time. So what's resting above this? Buy side, we taken it out. Accumulation. No. Okay. Waited for retracement. It's fine. So we're having that. So we took out that buy side. So just a minute. Just a minute. Let me. It was heavy. So guys, just a minute. Achana. Yeah, so we are back. So let's say there's a 5 minutes. So our time, that's our time. Then, okay. Okay, but then Tony, like I want you to take this into consideration. So I'm not someone who is selfish with these ideas. So I want you to be looking for this. So just come look at this time, 2:45. So inside this 2:45, wait for liquidity. So anything that's happening before this time, neglect it, okay? Neglect it. So let's say we had that high, we took out liquidity to the left, and then we did all of this, giving us some fair value gap. So let's say after taking out liquidity to the left, we had this low, took it out, speed, distance, fair value gap, return into that, again another fair value gap. So here, let's say you are someone who didn't know whatever I was talking about. So before this time, you went short, you find that you are cooked. So now the real move comes after this time here. So there's something that you need to backtest. So it's not like I'm forcing you to do it, but then if it can help you, okay, and just any other person, yeah. So we have that. What after taking out by said liquidity, what do we have inside here? So we're having this. So there's like a suspension block, yeah. So let's say you wanted to get a clean 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 hour. So once trade below the suspension block, so what happens? There's return into it at time 3:13. Yeah, so your stop slightly above there or just this price leg that created this. So if you miss this, then wait for this fair value gap. So you don't anticipate for price to trade back into this. So just this as it's opening to. So we anticipate to see this as a breakaway gap. Then what happens? We drop lower. We drop lower. And we're now dropping. Ooh. So it only happened that we are not in the move, but then these same things, I mean, people like Ekiru can confirm, like when trading our London session, these are simply some of the things that we normally come to look at. So there's time, okay? So time to 45. And also we have, okay, you can just go to the charts, check it out. Guys, and this thing works in each and every single market. Yeah, so there's free knowledge here. There's free knowledge. There's free knowledge. I mean, if you want to use it, use it. If you don't, still fine. It's not like anyone is going to force you. But then you can, I mean, it's now your call, just your call, okay, to go into the charts, back test, and see if it works. If it works, incorporate it, add it into your system. If it doesn't, leave it alone. Yeah. Yeah, but for us, we've confirmed that this works each and every single day. So it was really heavy. So gave us that first favor lookup, then the other one. So it's really heavy. It's not like it's giving you any entries. And then after doing this, so yeah, man. Yeah, so but then it's not like you should panic, because if it really wants to go lower, then it needs to give us this favor lookup here. So this favor lookup, do you trade London session? Yeah, okay. I normally trade London session, but then I used to trade London session on the currency pairs. So that is only Euro USD and GBP USD. But then this year, the beginning of this year, I told myself I'm cutting off the Forex markets. So I'm only focusing on CFDs and futures. So NAS 100, only that, NAS 100. So yes, I'll be trading London session, but then not right now. So right now we are only building, I mean, we are only fine tuning, yeah, our model, our system. We are fine tuning our system. So the way we did on Nasdaq, I mean, London, New York session. Okay, so New York session right now, each and every single one of you understand what I trade, how I tackle the markets, what I look for, what I come look for. Yeah. So the same thing is also going to be happening, to be taking place on London session and also the PM session. So I normally live stream PM session and London session on YouTube. Then the New York AM session, I simply live stream it on TikTok. Yeah, so right now we're just fine tuning our London setups. So once we have that complete data, then maybe in the next quarter we start trading the London session. So it will just be a full-time thing. So London session, New York AM session, and then PM session. So we'll be looking for all of these things. Yeah. So that's the plan. So guys, be ready. If you miss our stream on London session, everything will be on YouTube, and you can also catch up during the AM session New York. If you miss that, so to catch us on the PM session. Yeah, so this year, full time, unless something happens. So PM session, do you mean Nairobi time or the New York time? So if it's the New York time, then 1:30. 1:30. Start looking for your setups at 1:30 p.m. Then if it's let's say what time? Start looking for your setups at 1:30 p.m. and also 2:30 p.m. New York time. But then it ends at 4 p.m. So from 1:30 to 4 p.m. New York time. So Nairobi time. So right now you understand we are in DST. So daylight saving mode. So time frame in a vary. So right now time frame ni New York, PM session inaanza saa 3:30, yeah, hadi around saa 7 usiku, but the normal time, okay, which we might resume soon, maybe February hapo. So now the normal time, okay, so itakuwa inaanza around saa 2:30. So na saa 2:30 you start looking for your setups, then inaisha saa 6, so something like that. So with this, okay, so because we've really trailed lower, so if at all I wanted to look for a setup, so once we took out this buy side here, so I'll trade this high, low, higher high as a breaker. Then once we break below, any pullback into this level, I want to see it be supported and maybe continue lower if at all we want to continue lower. But then if it can take this sell side liquidity first before doing that, yeah, so we're having this sell side liquidity, and right now we are trading around it, okay, so just near the low. So if it can create for us 10 relatively equal lows, okay, so once it creates the relatively equal lows, what you want to see is for it expanding higher, so leaving for us that those two lows that are smooth. Once you trade higher, so we want to be treating this high low, higher high, and we want to anticipate this daily BC to act as a level that's going to hold price going lower. And also we are having this fair value gap. Also, if you draw your quadrants, so your quadrants levels, so we are having, let's say, the midpoint, if at all it's going to turn inside this level, so the midpoint is slightly around this fair value gap. So which classification of a fair value gap is this? This is a CB, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. But then that's only, we are only, anticipating. It's not like we really know for sure. It's just anticipation. Yeah, so let's now do our markup, because this was our setup. So we're only doing markup, and then we call it a session, because what more could we want? What more could we anticipate for? Okay, so we took out that buy side liquidity, giving us a fair value gap here. Once trade below it, so just this return into it after confirming everything. So time, everything is on our favor, time, price. So time, accumulation, manipulation, then distribution. So inside this distribution leg, once we break below this BC, buy side imbalance and sell inefficiency, once we break below it, we trade and close below it. So that simply tells you that this level is no longer going to hold. So what do we anticipate? Once you trade below it, any return into that, start looking for shorts. And also, so this low to that high, what are we having here? Fair value gap. So this market, the way it's doing this, once we have this, gives us another fair value gap here. So if at all you missed anything here, so look to the left. Let me remove that. What's this? There's a BC. So this BC, initially it was holding price, holding price. Then once we break and trade below it, what happens? We return into it. So this could have been another one. But then on certain days, you need to be really aggressive. So you need to be in the marketplace. You really need to be aggressive, because it's not like it's going to come for your entry. to give you an entry. So it's going to be doing side thing. So if you miss that, these are the one. And then does that. Do you have fib extension? Yeah, niko nayo. Must au dual ni aje? Kopo. Yeah, so we're also live on YouTube. So for better experiences, all the recordings zitakuwa YouTube. Odwar uko aje? Umeshika kitu leo? Yeah, so I want to call it a session due majority of the move has happened, and it's not like I'm not interested in doing anything after this, because if it can take out that low, then we might start seeing a different thing. So if at all I wanted to go short and it doesn't give us a pullback before for around 430, then I'll next that idea. Okay, so I'll just sit patiently and wait for the M session. Ten. Sijashika anything, waiting for you to show something. Okay. It's fine. Tupatane AM session, New York session. Yeah, New York session. Tuone kutakuwaje. So today is Monday. So you guys understand that Mondays, we normally love to use Monday's data for insights only. So if at all your plan is not to trade on Monday, then today it's not a call for you to be in these charts. You can just sit on hands and then wait for tomorrow. And also today, it's not like we're having any economic news. So also look at your economic calendar. Yeah, see what you're having. If at all we are not having anything, then don't be aggressive, Yeah, so right now everyone is anticipating for January's price action to be easy, okay, to give you something, but then we've seen on the opposite. So the first week, it was really tough, Yeah, so let's meet during the PM session. I mean the AM session, New York, and then Chambue. So I estimate that New York market open. We have CPI tomorrow. Today might chop. Yeah. And also like on days like today, if at all you can catch something pre-market, then I feel like unaweza sherekea. So maybe pre-market, ukipata kitu pre-market, we shambulia. Yeah, but then usikiwa aggressive sana. Yeah, so let's meet New York key open. Till then, see you guys.